Bliss has got all sorts of little tech abilities. His story is he's actually a cute little crazy mechanic. Oh, this guy's elite. Alright, I should probably help him. Sorry, dude. No. We are actually at least one more major pass on all the companion characters that's going to bring some pretty radical changes to how we play with them. So stay tuned for that. That's one of the few systems that's still pretty strongly in flux.
So, a couple of questions on PvP, that's all right. One was, in PvP, will the level be buffed to a fixed cap, or how will that work?
Absolutely. So PvP, especially right now, as we've got the population smaller, we may have several different brackets for it, but whatever bracket it is, it buffs everybody up to be around the same place. So this is an interesting one. This is what I always call dark side for dark side points. Like, I could just destroy this incredibly beautiful painting, piece of artwork that they've done that talks about the history of Tatooine for no good reason. But see, that's not funny. That's just peevish. We respect art here.
Another question on Tatooine generally. What transportation options are there in such a huge planet?
So Tatooine has a very nice speeder through the desert system, and then obviously your own speeders. We try to... Really? Hey, there it is.
Tor still has bugs.
Tor still has bugs. That was the bug where your speeder doesn't draw in. You can still fly around. So one of the... Oh, that guy will kill me. Okay. Okay, I was 100% wrong. I did not notice that, in fact, was a tiny Lilith since we were in.
Another question on companions. Can you switch companions? I.e., can you remove Bliss and use a different companion?
Absolutely. So once each of your companions is unlocked, they live on your ship, and you can use them in any fashion that you want.
And a follow-up to that, are there any Force-using companions?
There are absolutely Force-using companions, and they show up for a variety of different classes, some of which are fairly surprising.
I don't even know if you'll get this reference, but I'm going to ask it anyway because it's
Okay.
funny. Are you guys still in fire?
Are we still in fire?
You must have missed that meme.
No, and I didn't understand the meme, but I did see the posting that said the devs were all in fire. I have been in fire as long as I can remember. And it's usually Stephen Reed's fault.
That's cool. Just asking about Blizz again. Is Blizz just a companion for this particular quest?
No, once you've unlocked Blizz, actually, Blizz, to be clear, we let Blizz out here because we wanted people to be able to actually see Blizz because he's very cool. I shouldn't actually have Blizz yet. I'm cheating. But once you get Blizz, you can take him out whenever you want. In fact, through the crew window, which doesn't have anybody else in there because we didn't want to show off all the companions, but you can literally go here and flip out your companions anytime you want. One of the things we did in the early days was made it much more like the original Knights of the Old Republic, where you had to go back to your ship, and it was really not conducive to MMO gameplay. It's very important to the MMO and the constantly shifting sort of groups that you form that you can switch out your companions for really the situation that it calls for. Very often we said, hey, Mako right now is spec'd as a healer, and we've definitely had the situations where he said, hey, there's 3 of us and none of us is a healer. Somebody get Mako. And instead of having to run back to the ship, one of the bounty hunters just pull Mako out. All of a sudden we've got a healer in the group. We had a pretty hilarious bug for a while where Mako would just follow whoever she healed the most. So then when your group split up, one guy'd walk away with your companion character. That doesn't happen anymore, luckily.
Okay. Any dark side options that you had trouble choosing or regretted making?
Yeah, there's definitely some... I first really decided that this is where I wanted to be when playing the original Knights of the Old Republic and doing the big, hey, we can make Big Z take out mission. And I remember that really affecting me and feeling guilt and sort of horrible about it. And it's also one of the things that made me love and want to get into doing BioWare stuff. So we really tried to push that feel in the Old Republic. There's a lot of places where we've watched people who said they really wanted to be dark side sort of step away and say, you know, I don't think I can do that. The one that comes up very often, I think, is because it's so early, is on Hutta. You guys may have heard the one where there's a woman who wants to send her son off to Korriban for Sith training, and the father, who had been on Korriban and managed to survive but not become Sith, is trying to leave with the son. And your options are to put the kid and his dad on a shuttle and lie to her and tell her that the kid went to Korriban and everything's good, or to gun down the father in front of his son. And it's one of those ones that a lot of people hesitate about, and even once they do, we see many players say, oh, whoa, I didn't think that would actually happen, and then start to go down a lighter, nicer path. And of course, some people just giggle, because there's always those people. I'm going to go turn this in. Are we turning this in here? Where am I turning this in? See, I'm talking to you guys. I need to pay attention to where I'm supposed to be going for this. Oh, I'm supposed to be going way, way, way away.
Kind of at the end of our demo stuff.
Yeah, this is actually past to review for the demo. But
Can't talk now.
I'll just drive around and Steven can ask questions.
I have no idea what the answer to this one. Can I sell my companion for credits?
No, you actually cannot participate actively in slavery. This is an ESRB issue.
We'll send people march in single file to find their numbers.
When they do march, yes, in fact they will. And you'll be able to tell if they've gotten shot down, because really it's only Imperial troopers that are precise enough to really take us down.
Can you visit any planet you want to, no matter what chapter you're currently in?
Once you have actually unlocked your ship, yes. Before that, you need shuttle passes and things to kind of keep you contained for the first couple of worlds so you can figure out what's going on. But then, yeah, if you want to march off to Corellia and just run around in the war zone and get completely destroyed, you absolutely can. Story is an important thing, but we never want it to be something that limits the base usability of an MMO. Will there be RP PvP servers? I don't know, like we haven't announced anything for it, but I like them. You know, I always want to have a pop-up at the beginning that explains to them what it means, because a lot of times my RP PvP server is filled with guys killing me and going, what's RP? But I think that the Old Republic is a great place for role players. We put a lot of work into making sure that that we have support for that sort of thing. So you guys know, I'm actually the guy who's walking in the games when he's actually playing, because it's not good role playing to run. So I am in support. We haven't made any official announcements around it yet.
This is a good question for the current build. What happens when you die?
Oh my god. Yeah, let's go get me killed, huh? One of the things that we did a lot of work on really trying to shift was, in fact, the death system. So James Owen, who's our erstwhile director, you know, we're talking about the guy who made Baldur's Gate games and Dragon Age, and he likes to kill players. He has a very firm belief that if you can't die, the game becomes very boring very quickly. So he wanted to make sure that we had a death system that would work for that, because the problem is, if you're gonna, let's say, oh, he's elite, he'll probably take me. I can't attack the Bantha. Okay. If you're gonna let players, here, we're just gonna make this really fast. Liz can't help me now. Hey, creature. Okay, he's just gonna eat my head for a little while. Oh, really? It is really funny because I was watching the press guys get like killed constantly, and I just assumed everything was super brutal right here. So we're gonna watch him munch away at me. He's not the scariest elite I've ever faced. The big important thing is, if you're gonna let players die, if you're going to put them in situations where they have to think, where they have to actually not cakewalk through a combat, you have to make the death system pretty forgiving.